Hello there, it's Sean and welcome to this week's live training, Setter versus Closer. Can you imagine if this was the name of a movie? Setter versus Closer 2024, Batman versus Superman, superhero versus superhero. But it's not, it is a serious training, and I'm doing this training because I received a series of questions that is related to setting and closing, and I can see that right now and it's very separated, and because I've lived through both, I've lived through the entire learning curve, and so I hope that by compiling my answers together, what I have to share and my experience can greatly contribute to help you navigate through this space. And just to summarize my answer, I really see it as the same essence. It's just that one, you do it through your closing via text, and the other one is you're closing via, a lot of times now we use Zoom. And if you ask me, I feel that we need both skills, right? It's both are indispensable in some way, shape or form. Every day when you are texting, that is a skill. In some way, shape or form, every day you're listening, communicating, persuading, influencing, inspiring, you're closing. And the ability to set, the ability to text well, the ability to seed tens and dozens and 50s and hundreds of leads every single day, and then move them on your calendar. Whether you're selling, I don't know what you sell, property, insurance, you're selling a high ticket offer, the ability to move people onto your calendar and actually have them invested in meeting with you is an indispensable skill. Because if your calendar is empty, if you struggle to bring people onto your calendar and have a motivated, vested interest to meet you, whether it's a sales appointment, whether it's to close a deal, whether it's to collaborate, you're gonna be leaving so much on the table if you don't have that skill. And of course, by the time you meet them, you have to do your thing, you have to do the close. And so if you're watching this live premiere with us right now, drop a live in the comments. If you're watching the replay, down the road, drop a replay in the comments as well. Let me know who you are, your first name, where you're from. Are you a setter? Are you a closer? Are you doing both? Do you plan to do both? Are you a business owner? Briefly share what is your situation with me so I can also get a feel of what's happening on your end as well. And this training is especially for you if you have invested thousands in programs and you're already completed a program, right? And you've invested a lot of money, you need a lot of time, a lot of effort, and you've completed it, and now you're just sitting at home and waiting. And you've done what they told you, make content, go connect with business owners, and it's been a while and you're still waiting and you don't know why, or you kind of know why, but you don't know how to break through that present barrier in front of you. I know it's frustrating, and I've been in several points where I couldn't land opportunities, or I lost all my opportunities in one go, and I was in shock and I was in fear, and because I myself have invested a lot of time, money, effort and energy, and when I reached that ceiling, I know exactly how it feels, okay? Or you're currently learning from someone and they're great, they are good people at their core, and they've really inspired you, but what's missing is more of the implementation. And when you need concrete steps on how something is done, their inspiring theory isn't enough to close that gap for you. Like they might say things like go and add value, go and connect with business owners, and okay, so how, right? And they're like, oh, just be creative, it's simple, think out of the box, like you can do it. And you end the session and you're like, wait a minute, that was a great session, but what am I going to do exactly, right? Or sometimes they're not even there, like you have signed up for their course, but they hired someone else to teach, and that person is, once again, they're incredibly good at what they do, but it's just not personalized to your present situation. Like for me, I've always been based in Singapore. I have my own set of challenges, time zone, language, culture, a lot of things that, like even my own performance, and feedback on my calls, and how to get through interviews. The theory is one thing, but when it's I myself doing, of course any coach can just sit back and say, hey, do this, hey, do that. And then when I was on the calls myself, I was like, oh my God, right? How am I going to navigate through these things? And another thing that can happen is when you complete a setter and closer program, and sometimes you have money to invest, sometimes you don't have money to invest, and then they are like, okay, you know what? Why don't then you set for the program that we sold you, or why don't you close for the program that we sold you? And you've just completed that setter or closer program, and now you have to set and close for that program. And what are you selling? You're selling for more people to join that program, and the people that join the program, when they finish the program or they can't fund the program, now they also join the bubble, and then they start setting and closing for setter and closer program. And regarding that, I really feel that it's really important to go out there and test yourself in all different kinds of niches, relationship, fitness, marketing. Sales can be one of them, but really try all the other different things. And most importantly, try to put yourself in situations where you practice cold prospecting business owners. You don't pitch them. A lot of messages that me and my fellow business owner friends, we receive every season, right? It's batches and batches of setters and closers coming out, and then they are like, hey, I would love to set for you, I would love to close for you. And sometimes I really just ask them, right? Like, hey, I was also a setter and a closer, and is this something that's being taught right now? Just pitch, because you shouldn't do that. You really need to research the businesses and find ways that you can really contribute something, anything to them, instead of just outright saying, hey, I want to set for you, I want to close for you. And just to be clear, what you're doing is not wrong, but you got to understand that there are hundreds and thousands of closers that are doing that every single day. And so if you're one of those that, hey, can I set for you, hey, can I close for you, it's not wrong. It's just that you're just going to get swiped into some other folder, and then they're not going to reply you again. And as a setter, as a closer, if your primary skill is sales, you should not be selling someone on how fast they can block you. You should not be selling someone on why they have to ghost you. That's not sales, right? So if in the end that cannot be done, and then you've learned setting, but you cannot set business owners on an interview. You've learned closing, but you can't close business owners to let you close for them. And then in the end, you have to go back to your closer program and sell that closer program. And guess what? When a prospect meets you on the call, what are you selling them? You're selling them the skills of setting and closing, right? But did you live through it? Because you're going to tell them, oh, after this program, you're going to set and close. But in the end, they're going to set and close the program that you sold them, right? So the whole thing is a bubble. I guess in the short term, it's good. You learn stuff, right? It's not all that bad. You learn stuff, but in the end, if you can't complete the whole learning curve, to go to a cold business owner and knock on that door and not have it be slammed shut, and actually have them be curious and invested and reply you, and then actually be willing to get on a call with you. I have recorded a lot of my interviews that I've done myself where I cold prospected A-grade influencers. It's in a playlist on my YouTube. Let me know if you can find it. If not, just send it over to you. I cold prospected them, right? And they reply, and I used my setting skills. I got them on a call, and these are people in all different kinds of niches that I've tried again and again and again. And today, that's what I teach my students. I believe that you cannot really guarantee anything. You know what I'm saying? You need to teach people to really be independent and self-sufficient. And if you're going to sell people on setting and closing, make sure that you've actually done it yourself, right? If the only thing that you can set and close for is the programs that you have bought, and you're not able to complete the whole skill set of cold prospecting business owners, in the end, these gaps in your skills are going to come back to haunt you, and it won't be pretty, right? It's the whole oversaturated thing. And for those of you who have already graduated from that phase, and landing opportunities is not an issue, you're already in a company, you're already in a sales team, and you're happy there, and the problem is more like, hey, I can't get people to be interested in my offer as consistently, or it's like, how do I articulate my message? How do I improve certain metrics across the whole sales process? Some of you have told me that, hey, I'm in the right team, but sometimes the lead flow isn't ideal. Or it's like I'm getting on calls, but I can't perform consistently. And a lot of times it's due to getting stuck in the technique, right? These days I find that techniques are very easy to access. It's somewhere in someone's, $7 program. It's somewhere, on some YouTube video. Like, I feel like sometimes even the prospects are actually a lot more well-versed in sales. Like the programs that you can get access to, they also probably bought a few of them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times the people you sell, they know that, hey, it's 2024, it's a Zoom call, it's going to be a sales call. They've probably done sales before, they studied whatever you've studied, they bought whatever you've bought, the books and all the mainstream things. And so when you do the technique on them, it's like they know, they're actually more concerned if you can solve the problems. And so when you're too technique oriented and you're too technique focused, you find that you get jammed a lot in your expression. Like it's more rigid and it's just not connecting the way you're likely to connect. And I've also spoke with some people when they say that, I'm charging a certain price, and I know that deep down it's not so much a technique thing, but when it comes to my performance, my focus, my confidence, it's like every time I try and perform, there's this thing, my paradigm is holding me back. And so if you find that you're going through all these different problems, this training is going to cut into the essence, and I want you to let me know either in the comments, or you can reach out and let me know if what I've shared today helps you to overcome these issues. Okay, so if you're brand new to my content, brand new to my channel, my long story short is I actually was a business owner myself from the very beginning. Even when I was in university, I think that is one of the main things that sets me apart from a lot of sellers and closers, the fact that I ran my martial arts business for more than 10 years. In the beginning part-time, eventually full-time, and for a long time I was a business owner myself. And so I think it's my advantage because I'm able to think of how business owners think. And when I shut that business down, I started my whole journey of redemption because I knew that that business, there were so many problems in that business because deep down I didn't understand marketing and sales. And so when I shut the business down, I really focused and dedicated myself on a path of redemption where I learned copywriting, appointment setting, closing. I led and built teams, and the long story short is I'm someone who worked from the bottom up. And everything that I share with you is from experience. So if there is a script, if there is a video, if there is a recording, if there's something you need me to demonstrate, I can very easily go into your inbox. I can very easily review your calls. I can demonstrate pretty much everything that I've learned because I've actually done it before. I guess where the gap is when you ask someone and they know the theory, but then when you ask them to, then can you show me how you do it or how you've done it, and they kind of either not answer or redirect it back at you. And actually what we need is just the steps, right? What we need is just like the breakdown. And just like when we learn any skill, any sport, if someone can break it down for me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, here's how I've done it, and I'm going to challenge you to do it. I'm going to put some obstacles in the way, and I'm going to stretch you, and I'm going to review it. And like, it's my inherent belief that as a coach, I've been coaching people all my life, that skills can be broken down, skills can be taught. Like if you were to come to my dojo every single day, and this is a life that I've led for a long time, people that show up to my training, I will teach them the skill. People that show up to my training, I will break down the moves and then just have them repeat it, pressure test it. And so when I got to sales and I became a sales leader myself, it was the same thing, training my team members and all that. So I really believe that skills can be taught, confidence can be built, right? So whatever the gap that you're experiencing now, and it's making you feel like hard to breathe, or it's like I don't know how to overcome this thing. Like I've been through the whole thing. These are the people that I worked for, real companies, real influencers, real businesses, real coaches, that they actually guided me a lot while I was working for them. And so by the time, like sometimes people will ask me, Sean, how do you know like it was time to start your own business? It's when I've actually done every department in marketing and sales. I create content, make videos, set appointments, book calls, build systems, train teams, and it got to a point where I was even coaching the clients myself, right? So by the time I was ready to branch out on my own, I knew it because I had done everything under someone else's company. And so the only thing that I had to change was just the name, the brand, my own audience, and I already knew how to do all those things. And so that is what I teach today as a complete business, a complete skill set, a complete closer. So I hope that by setting this context, sometimes people will say, hey, why you spend so long telling your story? I hope that by setting this context, you understand my answers when someone say, hey, which is better, setting a closing? Should I start a setter or closer? It stems from this experience that I have, and why I'm able to say the things I say. Okay, because like I said at the start of today's training, I fundamentally believe that setting and closing is the same. Like, you do not need to really go hard on the black and white on this and say setting is setting. And I get it. Like, when you do get a setting role, it's very specialized. You have KPIs. You need to be in the inbox. It's like 4-hour shift, 8-hour shift. You need to deliver the calls book. And when you're a closer, you're really being tested on call after call after call, 6, 7, 8 calls in the day. Dozens and dozens of calls a week. And that's your specialty, right? And there might be a phase, just like what I've gone through, where you also go through, 1 or 2 or 3 years just specializing in that skill. And if you think short term, yes, it's very compartmentalized. But I hope that you see that these skills are going to be relevant, very relevant in the next 10, 20. It already is the future now, right? Now AI is everywhere. Things have been online for a long time, especially since the pandemic. Everything is online. That's why it's my personal belief and philosophy that you need to master both. If you really ask me, I think, like, this is my personal answer, I think you should really be a closer, like specialize, go deep, train, role play, and do your best to grasp the whole psychology of closing, implement it in your life with your girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, husband, wife, your sales team, your business, your company, your family. And at the heart of it, it's all listening. It's all relevancy, right? It's all value that people want. I just can sum everything up in one word: relevance. And when you can do that, setting just becomes the same thing, except that you're doing it via chat, WhatsApp, Telegram, old school text message, email. You are essentially closing someone to do something in their interest, in your interest, win-win, via text, right? Just that when it comes to setting, that specifically you have to learn to sell the value of the call, right? If now I were to say, hey, after this training, if you reach out, book a call with me, no catch, no pitch, no sales, no nothing, I will review a text conversation for you for free on that call. Or I will review one sales call for you for free on that call. Right? Now, there is a purpose, there is a value for you to get on that call with me. And this value is for you. I'm giving the relevance to you. So at its core, if you ask me, it is the same, right? It's how can I give you that value in a way that's win-win. Okay? So yes, that's the philosophy, that's the concept. And now let me break it down further for you. Okay, the big 3 that I really want to share today, okay, it's just 3. It's skill, relevance, and time. I've talked a little bit about relevance, and I'll talk about the skill as well. And finally, there's the issue of time. And fundamentally, if we just look at setting as a skill, okay, let's look on the left side here. If we just talk about setting as the skill, I think this is something not talked about a lot, but a lot of what we do in setting, a good setter knows this. And for those of you who are business owners and you kind of set for yourself, and I've been through that phase as well, you probably understand what I'm saying, where the way that you seed, the way that you spread your seeds far and wide, right? It's so important, because if you have gone through months where, like, this month is a big fat month and you earn a lot of revenue and it's a really well done month, and then you find, hey, the next 3 months there's no lead, no calls, no sales. Why is there a dry spell? You realize that, hey, all the sales that have matured, and these guys, these prospects, I've nurtured them, I've got them on a call, and they're hot and they've converted. Now the farm is going to be empty for a while. Now the well is going to be dry for a while, right? And that's why it's really important to seed all year round, nurture all year round, keep the growth of your audience growing, the people coming into your containers, your Facebook groups, your email lists, just keep it growing all year round. And your seller, or you, the apartment seller starting this video now, goes in to not just sell them, but to educate them on, this is my process, this is who I've helped, this is how I can help, and if you're not ready to buy, that's fine. There's a season for everything, and all 4 seasons, all year round, there are seeds that are being planted, there are seeds that are being nurtured, and the seller is doing this. It's not just booking calls, right? Not everyone is ready to book a call now. And what, are you going to force them to book a call? No, right? You need the right content. You need your seller to deliver proper value, to give out proper lead magnets, to give out strong lead magnets, to give out nurturing content, so that if they're not ready to buy now, they can mature a little bit more, right? And then they can mature a little bit more, and then finally they attend a conversion event, a launch, and they put their hands up and they say, I'm ready for that call. So this is the essential skill of a seller. It's so important. As an apartment seller, you are not the lowest life form in the company. You might be the most important person in the company, considering that the seeds that you plant, they're going to ripe 3-4 months down the road. That's so important. Because once the well runs dry, it's too late to say, I want sales now, I want sales. It's too late, right? And if we talk about the skill of closing itself, like I said, you want a sales script, or like you want, all the steps and all the tonality and all that. I believe that a lot of people are already teaching that. I will go straight to the essence, and I'll say in 2 ways. The first one is, how good are you at selling someone the pain, like the real pain they already have? How good are you at uncovering it? This is the number 1 skill you need to think about, okay? When you're choosing between selling and closing. How good are you at selling someone the process? Okay, the process has 2 parts. What the buyer sees, the buyer's journey, and what the seller has prepared, what the seller wants to sell. How well are you able to match both together and sell this process? Number 3, how good are you at selling the solution? That is your offer. Okay, some people ask me, Sean, what do you mean? What's the difference between selling the process and selling the solution? Your process is the big picture, a methodology or framework that your company has. The solution is the offer, the product, the service that you want to sell. So what is a big picture zoom out framework? Right? It's just an introduction of, because you cannot just go straight from pain. Okay, let me sell you this. A lot of people sell like that. They dig the pain, and they okay, buy my thing. Right? In between, if the prospect has absolutely no idea what you're doing, it's very difficult for them to bridge from, yes, I'm in pain, and yes, I want to buy your thing. In between, they got to say, okay, let me understand how everything works first, and if it actually matches my thing, right? My pain. And finally, when you combine the pain, the process, and the solution, these 3 combined, if it all clicks, if it all checks out, what you have here is a decision, and you need to be really good at securing the decision. Okay, I don't want to teach you how to overcome objection. Now, what would your wife say, if she were here? What would your husband say if he were here? If you had the money, what would you do? Like, this is the kind of skills that are everywhere right now. I fundamentally think that if you're actually able to get the decision, make a call now. This is what I have. This is what you understand. This is where you're at. If the decision is a no, no amount of persuasion from me is gonna matter, right? But if your decision is a yes, because you're sold on the pain, you're sold on my process, you're sold on my solution, what's the decision? If the decision is a no, no amount of objection handling I'm gonna do is gonna count. It's just gonna be a complete waste of time dancing around back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? So if the decision is a no, let's not get through this, because I don't want to have to drag someone into my program only, for us to waste each other's time. So if it's a no, let's agree to a no. Let's agree to a no. So which one is it? Because if it's a yes, it's a whole different matter, right? Because there are solutions, there are ways that we can work together to make this happen. So always clarify the decision, which is formed by the pain, the process, and the solution. So here's the thing, if you're able to actually get the decision, the prospect will overcome all the time, money, and spouse objection for you. I know, because every single time, and you might be the same way as well, every single time I was the prospect and I really wanted to buy something and my mind was made, I will save the money, I will put the money together, I will get resourceful and get into the thing that I want to get, and then get my ROI back. I don't have time, to dance around, to deal with objection. I know I'm already in, right? And that was why? Because my decision has been already made. So a lot of times I try to reverse engineer my own thought process. Like the first time, I wanted to join this program, no one closed me. How did I close myself? Okay, I realized that I had a pain. I realized that I understood that process really well. I realized that I really wanted that process, even though I don't fully know what's inside. And I realized that, okay, to solve my thing, I really need a solution, right? And so no sales call, it was like $2,000-$3,000, and I went to the website, I add to cart myself, I check out, I paid, right? And the other way I'll explain this, and this is a higher level, it's how can you get the prospect to sell you their pain? That's a whole different thing. How can you get the prospect to sell you your process? How can you get the prospect to sell you your solution? How can you get the prospect to sell you on their decision? Okay, you might be thinking, Sean, this is a little bit abstract. Sean, how do I actually do it? It's very, very simple. Imagine you are a business owner, okay, like me. Imagine you're a business owner. Actually you are, because you sell your service, right? Imagine you're a business owner and you already have all the money in the world and you are not on this sales call for money. You are not on this sales call for profit. You don't care about that anymore, okay? You are not on this sales call for your own benefit. Okay, imagine if your role, the rules of the game is that you're purely on this sales call to ensure that this prospect is a genuine 100% fit for the program that is beneficial for him and beneficial for the person or the people delivering it. And the whole focus of your job is to make sure that this really is the right person to get in. It's kind of like a very stringent interview. Okay, and your role is to be this person that's really hard to convince. Like if you are not sold, you are not sold. So you're turning the whole thing around. It's not a matter of how can I sell you, but I have a job to do here, right? I'm enrolling someone into my program. And this is kind of how I think now, selling for my own offers. Like when I was a salesperson, I really had to just, hit my target and just really close really hard. But after I started selling my own thing, I realized like, okay, I really don't want the difficult people in my program. I don't want people that don't do the work in my program. So I kind of became a lot more strict, a lot more discerning, a lot more doubtful. And I find that I actually perform better in closing because my mind is not on the end result. My mind is not on, oh, I need to close. My mind is on what's really happening here. Do you understand what's happening? Do you really have that urgency? Are you here to really solve something? Like why do you want this? What do you understand about what I do, right? And why should I take you on as a client? Because I don't want any difficult people in my program. You know what I'm saying? So when they're able to sell me, I actually feel more assured. When they're able to sell me, I actually feel more relaxed and like, okay, this is a good client to have. And that was when I realized, I should have been selling like that all along. Because down, the pressure is not on me. Right? I used to put so much pressure on myself that I wanted to get the techniques right, and that really freezes your expression. Okay? So this is the essence of setting. This is the essence of closing. If you need a step-by-step, all the technical steps, all the technique, okay, I have them documented in all my other paid programs. You can check it out in the Complete Closer bundle. I've documented all the techniques inside that, and I hope that today, just by sharing with you how I think about things, it adds on to what you already have, and like techniques are more or less the same. You getting to the spirit of things, and you're able to internalize it in your way, understand it in your way, and then express it in your way. You might not get all the techniques right, but because it flows through you, okay, it's gonna feel right for you, it's gonna make sense for the prospect, and that's when everything aligns, and that's like the best state, the best energy that any salesperson can be in. So remember the big three I talk about: the skill, okay, the relevance. What is relevance? Okay, this is relevance. Two parts, two sides of the same coin. If you are in a relationship, if you are in a business partnership, there's at least two of you. You see this happen every day. I see the world in a certain way. Right? In this case, if I'm the prospect, I'm in the buyer's journey side of things, right? I have an issue. I need to buy earphones. I've told this story many times. I need to buy earphones. My previous earphones stopped working. And it's a serious issue for me because I need earphones when I work. I need earphones when I train. I need earphones when I sleep. I wear them pretty much all the time. Right? And so when my earphones get damaged, I needed to buy a new one. That's my buyer's journey. And I have specific needs for what I need when I train, fit, comfort, when I sleep, all that kind of thing. It's all in my mind, right? And I'm not able to fully articulate it, but it's all here. That's my buyer's journey. So I go to the shop, right? And the salesperson is like, oh, we have this, we have this, we have this, we have this. And he's telling me all the things that are super awesome to him, that are super technical to him. And it is his seller's process. He's completely in the other side. He's like in this section of the diagram. And it completely has no relevance to me at all. You know what I'm saying? Completely has no relevance to me. And then I met a second salesperson, and he didn't talk. He was more like, what are you looking for? And I said something. He's like, okay, tell me more. And I was like, I need this when I exercise. I need this for my sleep. And then he listened, he think, and then he said, okay, do you need longer battery life, or do you need more like sound isolation? And he asked more questions to diagnose and diagnose and diagnose. And finally he said, okay, we have A and we have B, and I would like you to test it out however long you want, and whenever you've decided, let me know, and then I'll wrap it up for you. And that was it. And I test, and he let me have my space. And once I was like almost fully sure, I asked a little bit more question, he clarified the doubt, and I just paid. And that's when he was really able to meet me using his product knowledge. I have to say it was really good. It's really good product knowledge, and you need to have really good product knowledge when you sell, to diagnose my situation really well as well, and then meet right in the middle, in the sweet spot for what's relevant to me, the prospect, the buyer. This relevancy. A lot of times, this is a life skill. Relevancy is in life, is in every section, every area of life. When you miss this relevancy, problems happen in all areas of your life. Okay, let me just put it that way. So, skill, relevance, and one more thing, time. Okay, so now to answer the question, seller or closer. Okay, do an analysis for yourself. Okay, I've added another thing here. It's called the value bomb, and I teach this in my program, the Complete Closer. Okay, it's part of the Complete Closer bundle. This value bomb is what you need to send to business owners and influencers when you apply to join their team. Okay, research the company and put together a document, okay, about yourself, okay, and think about what I've just said about relevance. If you've seen this training and you still send me a message and say, Sean, I want to set for you, Sean, I want to close for you, it tells me that you didn't see this training at all. You don't understand relevance. Because of course to you, if you are the seller and you're selling your service, you're selling setting, you're selling closing, right? That's the service you sell, right? That's why I said you're a business owner. You're selling the setting, you're selling the closing. Of course, in your mind, you want an opportunity, right? Of course, in your mind, you want to book calls, you want to close sales, you want to make money. Of course, in your mind, that's what you want. Is the business owner thinking that? Of course, the business owner wants more calls, wants more sales, and that's where you guys overlap in the relevance, right? But are they thinking, oh, I really want to reply you, I really want to give you an opportunity, I need to find some seller and closer and give them the option? They're not thinking about it. The business owner is thinking about their own thing, right? Like the business owner has their own problems. Their business owners have their own decision making process. The business owners have their own needs, their own concerns. Just like when I was the prospect, when I was the buyer, I had my own set of things, right? So when you just coming in and say, hey, I want to set for you, I want to close for you, right? And every season there's batches and batches and batches of sellers and closers just doing that. To the business owner, it's very overwhelming, especially when they are not hiring, right? Or they've already hired, or they're hiring, but like all these sellers and closers are flooding them. In one swipe, you will go into the other folder, and it's very hard to reopen that door again. I know because that's happened to me before. That's why in my program I teach this concept called the value bomb. And if you look at the interviews, the live interviews that I've uploaded, you will see that by the time we get on that call, it looks like we have known each other for a long time, but that's not true. That was the first call we had. Those are the first time we've met. And you got to understand that just like a few days prior to that meeting, they were a completely cold business owner. It's like a cold lead. And no idea who I was. They didn't see it coming. And for a lot of them, they were not even hiring. And I introduced myself. Hey, it's Sean from Singapore. You don't know me, but here's what I prepared for you. Here's what I researched. I did not go straight to them and say, hi, I want to close for you, I want to set for you, right? So what is the skill here? It's not setting yet. It's not closing yet. It's research. It's preparation, right? And right here, your degree of relevance doesn't need to be really high, right? At this point, you just need to show them that I'm not like any other seller or closer. I've done my research and I made you a little gift, and I'm sincere, and here's what I've done before, and here's what I prepared. And then you approach them and you make that amazing first impression, right? So here the relevance doesn't need to be very high, so I put it as low. Okay, I put it as low. And right now, in terms of the time that you get to think, the time that you have to prepare, the time that you have to build the relevance, you have a lot of time to prepare, especially if they don't see it coming. You have a lot of time to prepare, you have a lot of time to think, you have a lot of time to hit the relevance. Hitting the relevance is the essence of the sale. It's the essence of selling. It's not your technique, it's not how you overcome objections, right? It's not how inspiring you are, it's hitting the relevant. And the person says, that's what I want, right? That's how you buy as well, right? You buy something when you know that person is not relevant to you. So then when we get to setting, the skill itself a lot of times is selling via chat. You sell low ticket items via chat, you book calls via chat, you seed, you send resources. A lot of this happens in Messenger, so it's conversations, convos. And here the relevance, it doesn't need to be that deep, right? You don't really go deep on chat. That's reserved for the call itself. But it's starting to get fast paced because you send a message, that person reply. You send 5 messages, 5 people reply. You send 10 messages, 10 people reply, and then 20, and then you could bump even more. And then, you know, if you work as a setter, you know, right? Just like the more you send, the more it snowballs. It's pretty fast paced. And so if you take a long time to look at the message and to decide how to reply, the whole thing is going to snowball. Your whole efficiency is going to go down. And so you need to really have a good pace. And here, you don't have that much time to think before you reply. You don't have that much time to think before you hit the relevancy. And finally, when it comes to closing, the skill itself is the whole high ticket closing philosophy, because a lot of these products are 3K above. It's a 4, 5, sometimes 6-figure products that there's a lot of considerations that go into it. So the relevancy is super ultra high, and the time that you have to hit the relevancy is almost non-existent during the call itself. When someone asks you a question and you freeze, when someone asks you a question and you didn't do your preparation, when someone like says something and you don't know how to reply, you're stuck. That is it. They're gonna feel like they're talking to someone that's not ready for this, you know what I'm saying? And then the sale is gone. And imagine if there are 2 or more people. Some of you sell one-to-many, like B2B, and there are a lot more people present for that sales meeting. The speed that you need to have to think and navigate through the whole thing is almost non-existent. You have to think at the speed of thought, right? So why did I create this skill relevance time chart? Is for you to really identify, first of all, where do you feel your strength is right now? Where do you feel your confidence is right now? And where do you feel you can get the most training right now to improve your skill? And look at the trainings that you have done, the programs that you have been a part of, and honestly say, you don't have to tell me, but you honestly think, is it helping you to build the skill that you need to carve the career and income that you want for yourself? I was very fortunate in 2018, the program that I joined really emphasized role playing. And so we had a Discord channel and it was flooded. In 2018, that program, that Discord, it was flooded. You could barely find a room to practice because every day everyone would be practicing. It was super competitive. And so I stayed up all day, all night just to listen to people role play and I would write notes. And I really dedicated for that few months to master every section of the call: rapport, background, pain, goals, root cause, nightmare, scenario, consequences, urgency, summary, decision, objection, finances, onboarding. Like every day, just practice. And these days I noticed that a lot of people don't actually have the chance to role play that much, and so it's like, have you done a call before? No. Have you ever done a fake call before a role play? No. Do you want to close? Yes. Then how you learn if there's no platform, there's no support, and you say, oh, I'm in this program. So what do you do in the program? Do you role play? No. Then why you join the pro? Oh, we watch the videos. You know, you watch videos and the live call and the prospect is live and raw and heated and jumping at you and challenging you, testing you. It's very different from watching a sales video, you know. And when there's no pressure, everything looks great. Once you're on the call, you know, that's when everything, you know, comes out, and you really need to prepare to the fullest before you get on the actual call. And the same goes for setting. If you're not equipped, you have to see the game for what it is, see your strengths for what it is. If you feel that you're talented, gifted enough, and you can handle all of this, then I'll say pretty much you're in a great place, right? But if you have certain parts where you don't feel secure with, be very honest about it and don't let the comfort or your love for whatever programs you're in hold you back from preparing for yourself for the harsh reality of what's actually going to happen in the conversations and on calls. So some people are like, oh, I'm in a really comfortable community. Like I joined the community for support to challenge myself, and end up, the community became another comfort zone for me. Okay, be really honest with yourself. If you're not pushing yourself up the learning curve, you have to do something to push yourself up the learning curve. And if the frequency that you're on now, the environment that you're in now is not building these skills for you, and you are just there because it's familiar, you're just there because it's comfortable, it's inspiring, it's motivating, and have you learned all these things? Have you been pressure tested on all these things? Because if you attend calls, just, hey, like it feels good, like this is a career, this is not a feel good hobby. This is a real skill that can feed family. This is a real skill that can set you up for life. When you can set and you can close, you can do a lot of things. Down the road, you can even create your own offer. So don't waste time getting stuck in comfort. Don't waste time not advancing yourself up the learning curve. I was very fortunate when I first started. Even the business owners that I sat and closed for, and the initial programs that I took, they were all very harsh but practical environment that prepared me for all the challenges that I face as a full-time setter and closer. And I don't even live in the States, I live in Singapore. And a really important thing that, okay, so to conclude for this slide, right, have a long-term plan of, let's say, eventually I want to get to closing, right? Or eventually I want to do both, or eventually I want to do setting. Right now, what is the main focus that you need to have for yourself? If you want to learn setting, or if you want to learn closing, make sure you're able to break down every part of the learning curve and then dedicate a few weeks or even months to attacking each part of it. You have to identify, isolate, and conquer. You cannot waste your time just getting on calls, talking to people, and then feeling good about yourself, but you neglect the learning curve itself. Isolate that thing and go find someone to role play, find someone to mentor you, find someone to pressure test you, find someone to make sure that you're moving up the curve. That's your most important priority right now. Okay? And then have a long-term plan. So as long as you keep attacking the parts, during this time it's going to be rough because you haven't completed the thing. But once you complete the curve, okay, once you move up and you know how to do all these things, okay, you'll be glad that you listened to this advice and took the long route. Because a lot of people are just wanting shortcuts, and when there are gaps in your game, eventually these gaps will always come back to haunt you and it won't be pretty. Okay, so isolate, identify, attack. Okay, and then build it up over time. Okay, and a really important thing that I want to address is the mindset part of how you approach everything in this remote sales career. What do I mean? Okay, whether it's an interview, whether it's applying to join a team, whether you're already in a team, you got to understand that I'm speaking as someone who worked from the bottom up. And the initial year is like no opportunity, because when you're green, when you're new, especially for me, I'm not based in the States, it's very difficult to get to where I wanted to get. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody will give you a chance when you have no experience. Nobody will give you a chance when you're not based in the States, right? Then how am I going to work? So if you ask me, at every point in time, right, if I really wanted to find a flaw, a problem, an issue, a weakness in an interview, in an interviewer, whoever it is, in a business owner, in a team leader, in a manager, if I wanted to find a flaw, I will definitely be able to find it. Just like if you want to find a problem, you can definitely find it. You know, things like calculating the OTE and grilling the influencer, questioning the business owner. Of course, now I dare to negotiate more confidently. Of course, now, like, if you are if you are some like hotshot superstar rock star closer, yeah, you can do all of that thing, right? Like qualify the business owner, disqualify the business owner. Sometimes I see people with no opportunity, they still tell me, hey, I disqualified the business owner, right? You have nothing. Nobody wants to hire you. Who are you to disqualify people? You know what I'm saying? When I had nothing, I just took anything, even cold calling, I just took anything that I had in front of me, because all I need was to prove myself. So whatever, the opportunity came, I was just grateful, right? I was like, yes sir, no sir, I'll just learn, I'll just do it. At that time, as a greenhorn, there's no debating, none of that. It's like whatever opportunity that was given to me, I was like, yes sir, no sir, I stay humble, I learn. If you give me something, that's my chance to learn. If you give me something, that's already an opportunity. If you let me do something, that's already a win, because now I can do something. Because once I can do something, I will take that, I will go to my one-pager, my closer website, and I'm going to say, here's what I've done before. I actually have some experience, I actually have some small wins. Then I leverage that to get to my next better opportunity. I take my old stuff down, I upload my new wins, and then I will just keep cycling until I got better and better opportunities. Because my mindset was like, if there is a problem, that's an opportunity for me to learn and to solve and to add or to optimize. I was thinking like an agent of growth. If I really wanted to find something difficult, I would find it. But at that time, I just didn't have the stroke. I didn't have the experience, I didn't have the weight to do that kind of a thing. So if you were at where I was in 2018, don't have the mindset of, now I have no opportunity, I have no experience, but let me qualify you. What's in it for me? Why should I join your company? Don't do that. If you're a business owner, who would you hire? The person who does his due diligence, the person who is humble, the person who has done his research and preparation. He sent you a value bomb. He can set, he can close, it's an open mind. He's like, yes sir, no sir, whatever you throw at me, I will climb to the top of that mountain, because I have something to prove. Whatever work that needs to be done, I'm going to do it. Where no one dares to go, I will go. Versus someone who's brand new and they're like, what is your OTE? Why should I join you? You know what I'm saying? So this is one of my students, Aiden. So he's currently in university, and here you can say, I said congratulations on your close. I saw his win. He posted a win, and I was like, well, I'm so happy for you. And he completed my program just this year, and he went out on his own. And I said, this is really important for you. Like, you don't pitch closing and setting for me. Go out there, find a business owner, go and cold prospect him, set him on an interview, then close him. You are self-sufficient, you're the complete closer, and guess what? He did it. So I said, how much have you collected since completing my program? Because now I know he knows how to hunt. I didn't need to guarantee him anything. He has the skills now, he knows how to do it. He said, well, I got noticed by another coach, he placed me in one of his connections and about 4K USD. You got to understand, this guy is still in university. He has no time. If you're in university and it's semester time, you have no time. It's like study, common test, study, exam, and then project work, and then final exams. You don't have time to do closing. But every week we would meet for whatever time we have. I will coach him, and then he will just find a way to make it work. So I feel like whoever he's closing for now, I know he's a fitness coach, or this guy is a fitness freak, is very happy to have this person. This guy is a high performer, and I'm so happy for him. Congratulations to you, Aiden. I'm super proud of you. Okay, super proud of you. This is another one of my students, Daniel Jong. He was on the dry spell for a long time, and then his first deal, 25K. I don't even know how he do it. Okay, but this guy, again, a lot of tenacity, also worked through difficult conditions. And then this is Broderick, a musician author. Okay, first week he collected 1,002. And this is not an overnight success. There was a period of time we really worked one-to-one, back and forth, practice, role play, and then mistake, correct. There is a learning curve. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of you are going to just reach out and ask, but Sean, I have no opportunity. Okay, let me just say this. When you have, and I told Aiden the same thing when you were first starting, he asked me the same thing, I got no opportunity, right? And then now you see he's doing well. I'll tell you the same thing I told him when he first joined my program, which is now you have no offer, right? What are you selling? I ask you the same question now, okay? You're selling yourself. You're closing people to notice your profile photo. You're closing people to open your cold message. You're closing people to open your email. You're closing people to grant you an interview. You're closing people to move you into the next stage of the interview and eliminate your competition. You're closing people to say yes. How can you learn a sales program, whether it's selling or closing, and then you set yourself up to get blocked or ghosted? How is that setting? Right? So when you don't have an offer, you are the offer. So do you need to set, yes or no? When I reach out to all those business owners cold, when I created my opportunities, am I not setting? Am I not texting them? Am I not voice note them? Am I not sending them emails? I'm not using my conversational typing skills to open doors for myself. Is that setting or not? Yes or no? And then when they interview me and they ask me questions, you're from Singapore, can you work US time zone? Is that not an objection a closer should handle? When they say, oh, you have no experience, why should I hire you over the other candidates? As a closer, is that not an objection you have to overcome? Right? So when you don't have an offer, you are setting and closing for yourself. You are the complete closer. Sometimes people watch my training and tell me, Sean, are you telling me that I have to do cold calling? Are you telling me that I have to prospect? I don't want to do it. I said that you message me, you ask me to let you close for me. What are you doing? Because the guy was just pitching me, right? Can I close for you? Can I close for you? I said, you reach out to me, right? And I'm a cold lead, right? And you ask me, you text me, right? Is that not setting? Are you not doing that to 10, 20 other business owners right now as we speak? So how can you say that you don't want to prospect when you are already prospecting? And then when you're closing, the influencers say, oh, today we have no calls for you. What are you going to do? If every day you have called, then today they say, hey, we have no calls for you. Are you going to say, oh, then I'll see you tomorrow? Are you going to say, that's not what you told me, when I qualified you for your OTE. You said there would be calls every day. Are you going to say that? No. You would go back to your pipeline. You will find the old leads, the leads that are closing, the leads that didn't close, fresh leads, new leads. You would be using that time to fill up your calendar, unless you tell me you don't want more leads, more calls, but more sales. Unless you tell me you're not an agent of growth. Unless you tell me you're not there to bring in more revenue for the company. Right? And guess where all of this starts? Because I can already see how a closer behaves or a seller behaves when they are not on an offer, and then they just go around pitching everyone. I know they're not going to get anything. Even if they do, it's not going to be an ideal opportunity. So how you perform when you're not on an offer says everything about how you perform when you do land an offer. So my conclusion for seller or closer is that essentially it's the same skill. Eventually you need to learn both. Right now you already are doing both, and it's a matter of how conscious, how intentional, and really how ruthless you are with the learning curve, because at the end of the day, whatever you invest in, okay, whatever you do, the curve is not going to move you up by itself. No coach, no program is going to drag you up the learning curve. There's only one person who can move up the learning curve, and that is you and yourself. You have full responsibility for it. Okay? If after watching this video you have some questions that you want to discuss with me one-on-one, this is my booking link. If there are slots available, just fill out the questions, pick a time, and then I'll see if I'm able to have a quick chat with you regarding your remote sales career. So that is it from this video for me, guys. If you have a comment, a question, or feedback, feel free to reach out on social media. Send me a message. Say, hey Sean, I've seen your setter versus closer 2024 video, and I have some questions for you. And please don't say, I want to set for you, I want to close for you. Okay? Do not do that. Okay? Study, implement, and apply. And I will see you in my next video. Cheers, guys.